in the temple of truth, right? Then share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them to join us. That Maiyegun today, Maiyegun is live. And don't forget to read the description as well, by the way. And thank you so much once again for joining me. Tonight, I want it to be an open mic as well, even though I kind of have a lot to share with us, right? But it is going to be an open mic, meaning you can phone in. Yeah, you can phone in anytime. And if I see your call, I will definitely pick it, okay? And you can make your own contribution. But usually, people would prefer that we get so into it before they start contributing, okay? So you can possibly be the same, all right? So we are starting with this obsession. As you are moving to 2026, a lot of these politicians, right, are now sending different warning signals in preparation for their 2027 elections. Currently, as it is, I don't know if the opposition are just trying to play their cards to their chest, to keep it to their chest without really showing the people that they are willing already to challenge Tifnumbu in 2027. However, when you check or look at the current political space, it is all looking like Tifnumbu won't even have a challenger. However, some of them, especially those from the eastern part of Nigeria, continues, especially the governors or the political appointees from that region. I don't know if it is because of the history of the people of eastern Nigeria not wanting to have anything to do with APC from the start, and still APC not being able to win a federal, presidential election in the eastern part of Nigeria, something that is more or less like a challenge. That some of them feels like they are going to end it in this 2027, especially with what happened in 2023. Devalues has been telling everyone, including the Igbos, right? Everyone that cares to listen, that one, the Igbos are no longer interested in Biafra because Tifnumbu has taken care of them now. He has accommodated them. Is the only president that ever accommodated the Igbos and pay attention to their need. So therefore, there is no need for Biafra anymore. Also, there is no need for any Igbo presidency for now. So Tifnumbu will do his 8 years, and the power will go back to northern Nigeria. So when the power returns back to the southern Nigeria, and it is the turn of the Igbos, Devalues will be very much available to represent the Igbos for Igbo presidency, maybe in year, when would that be? It's going to be like a year 2039. No, 2035 or thereabout. Yeah, 2035. So that would be the time that is likely going, 2031, yeah, 2039. Because that one we also want to do 8 years, Abi. So we are going to start with that. And also, just because we missed the last, 48 hours on the platform, we can still catch up. The last airstrike, ordered by President Donald Trump, continued to generate different reactions and controversies as much as, support as well, right? But we are going to start with that of Devalues, who told the people of Ebonyi State that if they wanted what Tifnumbu is doing for them, the project, the appointment for the Igbos and all of that to continue, they have no choice but to deliver Ebonyi State to Tifnumbu in 2027. In his own words, because if they fail to, then that means the Igbos should not blame Tifnumbu if he failed to do anything for them anymore. Something like that.
Put your votes together. Don't allow any non-entity to jump out. It's in a laboring, party. It's in a, turn-up umbrella party. To deceive you again. Ask all of us, what have we done for our people? So it's no longer about personal interest. It should be collective interest. When people ask me, do things for me, myself, vote no even So I just do change by the grace of God. But somebody is Zara. All of you, Your Excellency, I'm here. Only the good work. We will exclude that community completely. Yes, sir. Then we don't go to support to the middle uniform. Yes, sir. I believe yes, sir. And his son that Lion Pideka Wofta. No one else would have done it better than him. Is that okay? Yes, sir. If you didn't get, support him so that all of us will. Yes. Not be so? Not so. Then you see the president. Let nobody come to deceive you. When the time people want to be president, are they here? Yes. Thank you. When people, our brothers and sisters in Southeast, when they don't regard us, don't be stupid to join them to disregard us. Power and might belongs to God. After all, how many good? After all, our Savior Jesus Christ came from Nazareth, yes, where they didn't expect. Yes. This upon you are seeing, this very upon that you are witnessing, that is the Nazareth of Southeast and Nigeria. Finally, where is the House of Assembly? Do everything to reconcile with the opposition. You will not fight anybody that God has used to help you. People will be clapping for you. People don't be your good, don't do me too, but you are the president. Don't so? Not so. So, but I'm telling you in your own interest. I used 2 years with the speaker at that time, who is the governor now, doing everything to reconcile with the religion. Not because I offend her, but because I did.
So he said, no, don't let any non-entity to deceive you. Okay, and he's very much direct. He's referring to Peter Obi. So there is a 2027 project, neutralize Peter Obi. There are those who are somehow convinced that Peter Obi will likely not even run for president again, as many are kind of expecting, right? And others are like, no, is going to be pushed in the last minute and the rest of that. But the plausible one is that he's likely not going to even run. But if you have been following their politics, okay, for some reason, they are more obsessed about this Peter Obi than the person that came second in that 2023 charade. Atiku came second, right? Obi was like third. But when it comes to APC, it is like Atiku was never part of that election at all. He is not a threat. It is that person that came third that is the threat. And right now, when you look at from, apart from Abia, right? When you look at the states like Imo, Ebonyi, where the Volumai is also from, and you look at Anambra, Enugu, you will realize that they are all kind of like tilted to Tifnubu, obviously, like, Imo State, where you have Oplessus Otigba, right? But when you see the approaches, the utterances of the likes of Soludo, Umayi, and then partly, Uzokalu. You will notice their language, and they usually tell before they do, right? That what you've never seen before in the eastern part of Nigeria, like the kind of like a regional report they're going to bring back in order to impress Tifnubu, what they will do to achieve that, they are beginning to share them, okay? So non-entity, like is running for office, so no, he's a non-entity that is laboring in vain, or, don't listen to him. Meanwhile, others believe that Peter Obi have the eastern part of Nigeria on the lockdown. More reason why these guys are always out for validation, so to say. It's like trying to make an impression so that see how people react, so that they can feel validated that they have it all locked down. Who is Peter Obi? Who is this? And I'm like, why are they obsessed? I don't know. I think some said this because he actually really won the last election. Like, how? So because this obsession is not really right. Atiku was second. Atiku was the person that they should actually be focusing on. Atiku is the one who has all these political friends and whatever, whether friends, like all over the place. You know what I mean? Like, how come somebody with no real structure is more feared? So something else is also cooking, because Wirewike also returned home, like all of them. Okay, so Wirewike returned back to Rivers State too yesterday, and he was hosted by his foot soldiers, the Martin Mawule's State House of Assembly, where even their wives, the Association of Wives of Lawmakers, Wives of Rivers State Lawmakers Association. No, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know, but they are Association of the Wives of Lawmakers. So they put resources together and they bought Wirewike a new car to say thank you for, I believe, for his fatherly help and what have you, right? Then Wirewike went on to launch back at Fulbara. Remember, a few weeks back, Fulbara, who became the member of APC, Egbekegbe, said he is now the #1 mobilizer for Tifnubu in 2027. So therefore, like, bypassing Wirewike, who they consider, who he called, like, indirectly, he called him a ceremonial head, is our leader, but I am the leader of the APC and the mobilizers for Tifnubu. And they were singing on your mandate. So Wike actually, like, I think we should go into it. First, the card they gave him. I think I have that one here. Yeah. The Wives of Lawmakers.
And our brothers, our sisters at home, that you visited your other children that are in the River State House of Assembly quarters. And that as part of the Christmas, as part of the celebration, that we brought a little token to mark this Christmas for the year 2025. So that by 2026 again, the Excellency, now that you have started it, you will stop the Excellency, please. Now that you have come like this, by 2026, we'll be waiting for you. And hopefully, our wives will save more money to buy a better gift. Is it not what people say I should say? So, Your Excellency, very respectfully, very humbly, on behalf of members, on behalf of our wives, our spouses, on behalf of our children, we present to you keys to a Toyota 2025 Camry car. Thank you, sir. Your Excellency. Your Excellency, you know you have plenty already. Just add this one to the one you already have from your children. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Your Excellency.
So he got a 2025 Toyota Camry from the wives of the lawmakers, and they hope to save more this time next year to give him something even more sumptuous than the 2025 Camry. You know what they are doing, right? So it was also the time for Wike to show them that he's back. Okay? And he's still the Lord of the Manor. No matter what a Fubara is playing, you know, he was talking about the 600 billion naira left by the sole administrator for that 6 months of state of emergency, right? It was said that, well, he confirmed it, that indeed over 600 billion naira was left by the sole administrator. And he's been using the money to do some project in the state. And in 6 months' time, they will begin to see the result of what he used the money for. Wike disagreed. Wike believed, or he said, that River State politics is one of the wealthiest politics in Nigeria, or profitable politics in Nigeria, because there's so much money in River State. And now that they've announced that there is a 600 billion naira, no wonder that Fubara has been getting different endorsement from left, right, and center, because he's got so much money to flaunt around. He also used the chance to say, meeting with Tifnumbu will not grant you ticket. That's another kind of a thing now, right? So Wike said politics will start from January. And when that starts, Fubara will know his place. Again, like Devolumai, where Wike did not mention his name, but you get to know who he's talking about, right? So maybe where Wike will also join APC. I don't know. Or he will use his influence to override Tifnumbu so that Fubara would not actually be get his second term. I don't know. But let's start with this. With Wike talking about his politics first.
If you experience in Nigerian politics, Nigerian politicians like reverse money. I can tell you that. Go and study it. Nigerian politicians like what reverse money. If you want to make money in Rivers today, I don't know how you made the mistake of announcing that there was 600 something billion naira. That mistake you made, I'm announcing that, I blame some politicians from other states. I know them. They will now tell somebody here, this will get enough. They collect. Don't worry, Wike, his own time is finished. They collect. So, for you to be able to suck part of that 600 something billion, you must say Wike time is over. That is the way now. If you want to suck from that 600 billion, you went and told the public. You opened the whole thing. So, people were hanging. Now you are the one who opened it up. I have this kind of money. So what do you want them to do? People are waiting for where they will pay. So every day they put in one front page. They have adopted social person, they collect. Social committee, they collect. Are you not seeing it that the president is happy with you? They collect. You should learn the pattern of politics here. If you learn, you won't pray yourself. Anybody who comes to the university now must say the president is happy with you. They collect you. They don't want to hear with you again. They correct you. You don't see president again. They correct. So people will also make a mistake of telling the world the amount of money. You see a lot of political 419. You know what's going on? During my time, nobody could do that because I know that I've worked in Abuja separately. You know where you have political 419? There are days in the Abuja. If you
Very wicked. So is indirectly saying that Fubara is buying people who are telling him that they have it covered, they have his back. Together now. But politically, he is going to shock them because according to Werewike, they were those who started the on your mandate for Tifnumbu when it was not popular. So if Fubara and his camp are now singing on your mandate, they are just deceiving themselves. You know where this is headed, right? I bet you do. Werewike.
But we did it when it was time for people to say, I am mandate to stand. We stood stand. I said, I am mandate will stand. And to the glory of God, we stood. And I am mandate will stand today is very strong. So you are the ones who made the mandate to be strong. I saw the last step is outside. So all these people now you are seeing, and a man they will start that time, when they were needed most, they couldn't sing that. They couldn't come out to say, first for Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Now that you stood and voted for him, and River State won. I tell you, all your struggle will not go in vain. All your struggle will not go in vain. So we have come to let you know that still be strong. Nigerians know us. When we take a decision, we have taken a decision. We don't take decision based on what people have seen. We take a decision based on we are convinced, we believe that this will happen. You stood firm even when you are not in power. But we did it when it was time for people to say, I am mandate to stand. We stood firm. I said, I am mandate will stand. And to the glory of God, we stood. And I am mandate will stand today is very strong. So you are the ones who made the mandate to be strong. I saw the last step is outside. So all these people now you are seeing, and a man they will start that time, when they were needed most, they couldn't sing that.
Very nice. I'm glad to see this.
Tell your money was Jagaban. On your Monday, we shall stop Jagaban. On your Monday, we shall stop Jagaban. On your Monday, we shall stop Jagaban.
Yes, sir.
On your Monday, we shall stop.
In the Chief of Staff's office.
We are a poor nation. The bank code we follow. They say firewood, not food. They say we need to plant more trees. And they are not giving us money. We need to open our eyes, shine it, and tell the West. If you don't guarantee our finances and work with us to stop this, we are not going to comply with your climate change. They're doing.
you know. So yeah, he sang on your mandate when they were needed the most, right? They were nowhere to be found, whatever that even mean. Okay. So Wicked didn't stop there. He's been touring, by the way, like he's been going from one local government to the other, and he's been making speeches all over the place. And I can bet it. This is him kind of like rejigging his base, getting them ready. So at one of those gatherings, right, he said that you have met with the president won't actually guarantee any ticket for you. In his own words, right, with a wiki.
So the issue is not whether he has supported Tinubu. That one we have taken top long. Yes, so Tinubu's issue is not an issue. Do you understand me? Tinubu's issue is that nobody should be coming there to tell me we are for Tinubu. I am mandate. Who is for Tinubu University? That cannot give you any ticket.
Direction.
Everybody, Melembe. Supposed to go catch a monkey. You understand me? Supposed to go catch what? Monkey. So, anybody thinking that the assembly have done their work? Yes. They were the first in Nigeria to say we will support Tinubu. Yes. When they have ended the time, not so. Yes. The same people now who came to declare, took them to court. But they should declare their cities vacant. Yes. Who is still character? So assembly saw far ahead of them. And they are now coming. Every project I handle over, take. I'm not one. I was one. Yes, sir. I set agreement with Yorubas. I commissioned the first phase. Yes, it is difficult to come out from their mouth. I say, look, government is a continuum. This is the man who made me.
So the bottom line is this, right? There is still not a done deal when it comes to their political permutation in Rivers State. How that goes, we don't know yet. But yeah, some of us believe that Fulbara might have overtaken with a wiki fear enough to go under the protection of Tifnumbu. So the point now is going to be, is he actually getting Tifnumbu's protection, or Fulbara's sort of like a second term is going to become the coalition cause between Wiki and Tifnumbu, which obviously will never happen. It's just, you know, everybody will probably end up filing behind whatever Tifnumbu says. Is that how it's going to be? No, we don't know. But there is something for those of you who witnessed the 2023 charade in Rivers State, and you could probably recollect how the whole thing played out when Wiki kidnapped INEC, NYSC, sort of, adjunct staff to INEC, beat some of them bloody, and even killed one of them. Until this time, that's the way the wicked there. Politically stronger, you will say, and getting ready for another election. So the template is already it's going to be replicated in so many places. To them, with what happened in 2023, the political landscape of Nigeria has shifted Northern Nigeria will not be the only one to decide. In fact, Northern Nigeria will not decide who will become the president in Nigeria anymore. That 2023 decided that. So in that pattern, right? I mean, so in that sense, right? They are already replicating or planning to replicate the same violence pattern, especially in the southern Nigeria, where the campaign is going to be the North are now against the South from doing their own 2 terms. Yeah, so like 2023, but this time more brutal, more violent, and they are gearing up. Yeah, they are. Maybe you say, well, is that not what they do all the time? Well, maybe not this time. Do you get me now? There's so much boiling in that northern political space too, but we'll get to that one. So when Donald Trump said he ordered the airstrike that, went to evaporate the ISIS terrorist ISWAP in Sokoto, northwest part of Nigeria, it triggered, of course, reactions for those who felt like, how did Nigeria get to the stage where the terrorists who are not Nigerians, in some cases, because when I finally found out the story of the Lakurawa, it might shock you, or maybe not, right? So how did Nigeria get to the stage where they are so quick, very fast, in deploying fighter jets to Benin Republic to stop a coup? But yet, these terrorists have become so established in Nigeria that American surveillance and the rest of that is believed to have carried out these airstrikes. So Nigeria jumping in to say, no, we gave them the intelligence, even made the whole thing more ridiculous. Because the questions was like, if you had all this intelligence, according to you, how come you didn't use them? How come you didn't use the intelligence to probably go after the terrorists? Anyway, there are those who said, oh, don't mind them. They only bombed some empty land, empty fields, and there is no terrorist killed, blah, blah, blah. One of them is Asari's Dokudom. You see, when in October, when Donald Trump said, if the Nigerian government failed to act to stop the killings of Christians in Nigeria, he would act, and he would come and, gun a blazing after this terrorist. One of those reactors was, Asari. And Asari said if a single US soldier is by any chance found in Nigeria, they will not go back alive. You know that talk then, right? So when this airstrike happened, again, Asari turned on the camera as well as, what do you call that in floodlight, like me, to react. Sorry, this might actually be a little bit retarded, but it's Asari.
This is almost 12 a.m. I've been very busy throughout the day. We're having a 5-day Islamic gathering at Ipokuma, at the unknown mosques at Ipokuma, for Muslims of South, East, and South-South. Muslims from South-East and South-South. We have some visitors and observers, but it's mostly a Muslim program for South-East and South-South. But that's not what I'm going to talk about now. A lot of people have been sending questions to me, inboxing me, on what I said about the origin of urban people. I am here. I am in my house. And I don't think that no man what? I don't think that this, where are they? Don't be fooled.
Have you seen the disgraced? It's so shameful. So people have been inboxing me and that I said something about the urban people, the Oafia people, the Abriba people, the Tem people. And I said these people are originally Ijaw people. They are originally Ijaw people. And a lot of people, in fact, a lot of urban people had come to inquire and ask me questions. First, I want to say that I headed an urban man's walk-in house in Kalaware land before I ascended on the stool of my forefathers to become Dabayama Kri the First, a minor of the source, Elen Kalaware Tosramapri. The house I headed, Ediabali, was an urban man who came to this thing. It was, I'm inside my house. I've always been in my house. I'm not a coward. The job people are not cowards like you. Nobody can chase me from my house. I'm inside my house. And it's so shameful and laughable. Did you see, I saw the news on Arise. Innocent people's villages, they created craters, small leveling place, no life lost, nothing happened. There was nobody was harmed. There was no bandits in the vicinity where this bomb landed. Innocent civilians. It's so disgraceful and so shameful. So disgraceful and shameful. And what's happening in Lagos? Whether some of the drones, they said it comatose missile, which is a lie. What went to Sokoto, which the ordinary people in Sokoto had come to say openly were drones. And they did not harm any bandit. They were thrown in open fields where innocent people are. Open field endangering the life of innocent people. So I will not dwell on that because that is not what I came for, but I think it's shameful and we believe these lies by these people. We believe these lies by these people. Well, I'm a Muslim. I'll continue to be a Muslim and I'll continue to talk about Islam. I'm proud to be a Muslim. But what I'm talking about is about my people now. If you have any other proof of where the bomb landed and killed one bandit, one terrorist, just one terrorist, come here, I challenge you. Come here and show us the proof that one terrorist or one bandit was killed by a so-called bomb from United States of America. So I'm not going to waste my time with you because of your so-called precision strike. You want me to show you the precision strike you are talking about on an ordinary field? No. See your precision strike.
Glory be to God, there was no loss of life, no loss of property.
Your precision strike.
It's not any loss of life.
See your precision strike on another field. Look at it. Precision strike.
So you can see that it's not any loss of life. It is just fire. Look.
Precision strike. Oh, Preci. Look at your precision strike. Oh, you see your precision strike?
tell us there is no any loss of life, no any loss of property. You can see by your naked eyes, so you can see there is no any loss of life.
I said, if Ahmed Bola Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
You say?
I say, if Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
Thank you.
The job people are already angry that this is the worst government.
We have just started.
We must learn a lesson. This man!
You're gonna trust man, Adam. Your eyes will see what your mouth cannot talk.
So, Asari wants you to give him the proof of any terrorist killed. And to him, right, it is a shameful, it is this, it is that, pretty much like how Nigerians have taken it more or less like on the side of the Americans' airstrikes, okay? But it's not just Nigerians, just saying, right? Right, there is another clown before I even show you the other video, okay? Is Sheikh something Jingiri. Remember him? Yeah, the APC Jibwis Sheikh. All right. In his own way, he's got tens of thousands of followers. I mean, physical followers, people who actually listen to him. And politicians, especially the APC, they have, weaponized that few times. Possibly still doing. When Tinubu removed the subsidy, Jingiri told the people that it was because some people were stealing the money and the money was not helping the poor. Tinubu removed it to save the poor. A year after that, Jingiri turned around and said, Tinubu was not the one that removed the subsidy. It was some Igbo traders that removed it. That Tinubu is only trying to save Nigeria. All these videos are online, oh. They are not like made up videos. They are ridiculous. So similarly, Tinubu that failed, or should I say Tinubu's commander-in-chief that failed to use the power to protect Nigerians from this murderous terrorist, is now saying that his government gave the authorization for the airstrikes that the American African group actually carried out inside Nigeria with all the effects. Now Jingiri this Friday told his own followers in his mosque that those who are telling you that the Tinubuis were authorized the airstrike that took place in Sokoto, that they were only trying to tarnish his image. Tinubu knew nothing about it. I didn't say it. Maybe you should listen.
Jama'a, ƙarya masu cewa Amurka ta jeho bom ya tsallake ƙasashe wajen 10 ya fada a ƙauyen Tambuwal. A iya fahimta ta ƙarya suke yi. Ban ga jami'in gwamnati da ya zo wajen bayani akan wannan ba. Sai bayanin cewa wai kada da me ake cewa da Hausa to kaji sai ana ce wai gwamnatin kasar Najeriya wata ce ita ma ta san za a zo suna son su hada mu rigima ne da shugabanninmu to albarka wallahi mun yarda da shugabanninmu na muslim mun yarda da majalisar dattijan Najeriya mun yarda da majalisar dokokin Najeriya mun yarda da majalisar jihohin Najeriya akan gaskiya. Dai waɗannan ka haɗa ƙarshen magana akan gaskiya, akan adalci. To idan ku akan gaskiya ne da adalci, ya ƴan uwana talakawa, akwai ran da majalisar dattijai ta Najeriya ta ce mana ta rattaba hannu da Amurka akan Amurka za ta zo ta taya ta yaƙi da insas. Ni ban ji ba, kuma ba ku ji ba. Muna da haƙin majalisa ta gaya mana ko ba mu da shi. Akwai ranar da majalisar dokokin Najeriya ta sanar da mu cewa ya talakawa mu gwamnatin Najeriya ta rattaba hannu da Amerika, ita karfinta ya kare a kawo mata hari, ai mata yaƙi da insas. to ni a gani na wannan magana sukan gwamnati ne, to in za su yi suka to ni dai ba zan yi magana da bakin kowa ba, ni kan na yarda da wannan gwamnati. Kuna jin za su yaudare mu? Ai wannan abin a rattaba hannun ba su gaya mana ba, kuna jin za su yi? Da aka a guri na wannan maganar ƙarya ce ta 'yan yanar gizo. Kun ji biyu? Bayan haka wannan cewa an jeho da suke so wai su rikita mutane su ji tsoro. Kun gani nan daga babban birnin jihar Filato Jos, Najeriya nake. Kun sani an taɓa kewaye ni da makamai daga ƙasashen Turai da
Inside that mosque, you will see educated people there too. And they are listening to that stark illiterate. But he's a sheikh. That was him telling them that America was trying to remove the Muslim government in Nigeria. All right? That is why all these things are happening. It all started from the NSAS and to what you have now. So don't listen to them. The Tifnobo did not authorize any of the bomb and all of that. Those who wanted to make the government look bad, they are the ones who are saying, here you get. But guess what? That same day, by the way, they supposed the Minister of Misinformation in Nigeria had this as his own press release, so to say, statement from government on the same matter.
Good evening, gentlemen of the press. The federal government of Nigeria, in close coordination with the government of the United States of America, has successfully conducted precision strike operations against two major Islamic State ISIS terrorist enclaves located within the Bauni axis of Tangaza local government area of Sokoto State. Intelligence confirmed that these locations were being used as assembly and staging grounds by foreign ISIS elements infiltrating Nigeria from the Sahel region in collaboration with local affiliates to plan and execute large-scale terrorist attacks within Nigerian territory. The precision strike operations were executed between 12 midnight and 1:30 a.m. on Friday, December 26, 2025, following explicit approval by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. The operation was carried out under established command and control structures with the full involvement of the Armed Forces of Nigeria under the supervision of the Honorable Ministers of Defense and Foreign Affairs, as well as the Chief of Defense Staff. The strikes were launched from maritime platforms domiciled in the Gulf of Guinea after extensive intelligence gathering, operational planning, and reconnaissance. A total of 16 GPS-guided precision munitions were deployed using MQ-9 Reaper unmanned aerial platforms, successfully neutralizing the targeted ISIS elements attempting to penetrate Nigeria from the Sahel corridor. During the course of the operation, debris from expended munitions fell in Jabo, Tambuwa local government area of Sokoto State, and in Ofa, Kwara State, near the premises of a hotel. No civilian casualties were recorded in either location, and relevant authorities promptly secured the affected areas. The federal government of Nigeria reiterates its unwavering resolve to confront, degrade, and eliminate terrorist threats, particularly those posed by transnational extremist networks seeking to undermine Nigeria's sovereignty and security. Nigeria remains fully aligned with its strategic partners and friends of Nigeria in executing coordinated actions aimed at ensuring lasting peace, border security, and regional stability. The federal government of Nigeria assures all Nigerians that it remains firmly in control of the national security architecture and is fully committed to the protection of lives and property. Citizens are urged to remain calm and vigilant as decisive actions continue against all terrorist groups threatening the nation. Good evening, gentlemen of the...
So the confirmed report, which I have also kind of seen, indeed, the all these debris, all these ones that we thought were bombs, the one that went through or dropped through the buildings in Offa, yeah, as well as the ones that dropped just thereabouts somewhere in Jabo, in Sokoto. You see the area they targeted from the map, right? Tangaza local government area, as well as a Tambuwa local government area. I don't know if they are so connected or so next to themselves or so big enough that they said there is a route that actually links straight into the Niger Republic, like the Sahel, the Niger Republic part, 10 years ago. Just like around the time that APC, Ebekebe, made that evil deal with the Fulani terrorists that they brought to the border of Nigeria, or brought into Nigeria, hoping that Goodluck Egbere Jolantan was going to probably, cling to power, and then they would have unleashed hell on Nigeria. Not my words. Among the terrorists who have appeared with the government officials in their official peace deals, have made these confessions publicly. They said APC, Egbekebe, brought them in, promised them, like used them, then abandoned them. We've had other politicians who have publicly said same. Baraje, Kawu Baraje, right, is one of them. Kind of like one of the stakeholders of their APC at the early stage at the time. So these are not just made up stories, okay? So bringing them in, using them and abandoning them is the similar thing that happened in Sokoto. It was around the same time. According to them, they were having the influx of some Boko Haram ISWAP into Sokoto. So the Sokoto leaders, they went into the Sahel. This is ridiculous, and it is true. They went into the Sahel and recruited the Lakurawa terrorists to come and protect them from ISWAP. And that was how Lakurawa became more like homegrown in Sokoto. These are not Nigerians, though. But guess what? Sokoto State is more or less like a huge breeding ground, meeting ground, and what have you. And it was said from all of this, their reconnaissance or so, surveillance, they intended to take that place out. That's exactly what they did. Now, you or me have no declassified information of who and who they took out. But whatever is going on, some said the whole bombing still continues. Maybe not as pronounced as before. But you see the areas where we thought what really hit them were those unexploded bombs and all that. They said they were debris. They are part of the missiles that powers it, right? So you get to a stage, it could drop off while the missile continues mission, so to say. Google it. So from Offa, aftermath of that airstrikes, 16 of those shot against the terrorists, believed to have taken out a lot of them and their cells. And also, even though we don't have the visual evidence right now, I believe we are still going to have it eventually, right? So it was reported that indeed, right, there were actual Nigerian soldiers who, after that strikes, right, they started mopping the ground, that they actually saw some of the surviving terrorists running straight to the border. I don't have evidence of all of this, all right? But yeah, it's part of what is out there right now, okay? However, from Offa, the aftermath, which is not the bomb itself, was this.
Hello. So, Gogoli, Palo Lodo Razak ni mo wà yìí. So there is a missile drone to ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Offa. So quite unfortunately, about 3 houses síwájú kìíní yẹn ti drop. So ó dẹ̀ bomb gbogbo àdúgbò, but ó affect the Palo Lodo Razak níbí báyìí. Láìláìlọ́lá àwọn tá ń gbélé ní, so ó affect Palo Lodo Razak, and then the room ọ̀dọ̀ wọn náà kìíní yẹn ṣe ń ràn up to this hour tí mò ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí so ó ti construct ó ti pa room yìí jẹ́ room yẹn àti pálọ̀ ọ̀dọ̀ Bàrà Razak ló affect lọ́dọ̀ wa but ó tún wá affect about 3 houses sí wa so bó ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn náà mo ní kí n jẹ́ kí gbogbo ilé ó gbọ́ yìí tá a rí lọ́fà láàárọ̀ yìí nìyẹn so àwọn other agencies àwọn army navy and police gbogbo wọn náà wà ń bẹ̀ báyìí so kọ́lọ̀ kó ṣàánú.
eri bá bí tí bọ́lọ̀ wà ní èmi ti á fún mo sì yá wá jí mi pé kí n bọ̀ bá bọ́lọ̀.
àwọn agencies tí wọ́n wá ìfọ́nà wọn ní so bó ṣe affect ẹ̀ látẹ̀yìn wá ní ní ẹ̀ka explode ní but immediately tó land níbí báyìí tán wọ́n ló tún lọ sí Solid World Hotel láti lọ affect ẹ̀ so ó condemn gbogbo léyìí completely délẹ̀ so àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n wà ń bẹ̀ gan wà hospitalized so ilé yìí wà kọ́ affected completely lẹ́yìn ìgbà yẹn ló ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá lọ sí Solid World Hotel yẹn but investigation ṣì ń lọ lórí ẹ̀ we don't know precisely ibi tí wọ́n send ẹ̀ sí and ohun tí wọ́n fẹ́ kó ṣe gan tó fi dé pààyàn sáàrin ìgboro báyẹn àìtí mọ̀ so very soon a máa expect yìí. ó ní kíní yẹn ṣe ń rùn gbogbo bí mo ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí gan so ilé tó destroy yẹn ó ní ó destroy ilé yìí completely ó destroy rẹ̀ lọ báyẹn lọ sọ́dọ̀ wa báyẹn but ibi tó kan lè land sí ni inú premises yìí ló land sí so lọ́wọ́ ṣáṣe rí nìyẹn ṣá náà mo kàn ní kí n update yín ó dá o.
That was so far. And that is just the debris from the missiles. Because from what we heard, if 1 or 2 actually landed in that place, it's not, I mean, like, it's not the same thing we are saying right now that we'll be saying, so to say. And I hope the government of Nigeria that said that this is not illegal airstrike, they authorized it and all of that, would then go to the aid of the Nigerians whose properties are destroyed and those who needed health care, as it should be, I think. It's just that that's not what it's going to be like Nigeria around 10. So Gumi therefore is saying that his reason for calling on the Nigerian government to cut off all diplomatic relationship, arms deals, whatever relationship with the United States of America, is because a lot of countries have done the same. America is not coming to help, the blah, and the fact that they are saying they want to come and take out the terrorists, they cannot be trusted and all that. So Nigeria should call the supposed ambassador, American ambassador to Nigeria, and tell them to pack and leave. But I don't think anybody is listening to him though.
Hukuma ce tun lokacin za ta kira ambassador ta ce a janye wannan tsoratarwar, a kore shi, a yanke hulɗan jekadanci. Domin wannan cin zarafin 'yancinmu ne. Wani can zai ce a'a in wayannan 'yan ta'addan ba mu iya maganin su, to meye laifin an samu wani mai karfi wanda zai maganin su? Wani zai iya faɗan haka. Allah ya gaya muna cikin Qur'ani sai ya qulu sufaha'u minan nasi ma wallahu ma qiblatuhum allati kanu 'alayha. akwai wawayen mutane wanda tunaninsu ɗan ƙarami ne gajeren tunani gare su. Wanda ta fi ɓarnar da 'yan ta'addan gasken suke yi. Wannan mutumin nan ba ƙasar da ya shiga ba a kore shi ba. Sai an kore shi. Wannan mutumin hannun shi dumu-dumu da jinin mutane, ƙananan yara, mata. Har in kana neman taimakon Allah da mujrimi za ka nemi taimakon Allah? Barawo ya shigo maka gidanka sai ka je ka ɗauko sarkin ɓarayi wai shi zai zo ya kore maka barawo? Alhali a duniya akwai zaɓi. ومن يهاجر في سبيل الله يجد في الأرض مراغما كثيرا وسعة. akwai zaɓi mai yawa. Muna da mutane kwanan nan kuka ga Kano suka hori 'yan sandan ciki ko? Ba ku ga mazaje ba da mata? Me suke bukata? Makami kawai. Makamin nan za mu yi samu shi ta hanyoyi da yawa.
Àbọ̀lọ̀fẹ́ bá tiẹ̀ jẹ́ níbo ló ti mọ̀ mí bó lè ti mi àti ẹ ti dàpọ̀ kí ló dé mi àti ẹ pọ̀. Àbọ̀lọ̀fẹ́ bá tiẹ̀ jẹ́ níbo ló ti mọ̀ mí bó lè ti mi àti ẹ ti dàpọ̀ kí ló dé mi àti ẹ pọ̀. Àbọ̀lọ̀fẹ́ bá tiẹ̀ jẹ́ níbo ló ti mọ̀ mí bó lè ti mi àti ẹ ti dàpọ̀ kí ló dé mi àti ẹ pọ̀. Àbọ̀lọ̀fẹ́.
I mean, that's how some of us should ordinarily feel. Like, number one, you probably didn't even understand Jack from all he said, Abi. Normally, if not because, say, they matched us together, matched us together as one country. Somebody like that, the same way some of you only hear about Niger Republic and you don't actually really give a hoot about what happened in Niger Republic. These people would have been part of Chad, Niger, or even Burkina Faso. So you, that is not part of Nigeria, will be reading the news. If you stumble on it, I say, what's he saying? And then you hear that he's speaking on behalf of the terrorists in the Sahel, asking their government to, to sever ties with America when it comes to so and so. I say, is he mad? But it feels different when this is Nigeria and he's actually talking about your country. It's kind of like different. You just be like, man, why did God bring me together with this kind of people, with this kind of mindset, for goodness sake, right? But he's not alone. And that is why he's got a voice. There are millions who thinks like him, who feels like him. And somehow you may probably realize that their own picture of Nigeria is different from your own picture of Nigeria. So contrary pictures of a country in this Nigeria context is enough to give you, to give you all you need to know why this Nigeria is what it is. Why is it like this? Why is it not working? We have different pictures of that Nigeria. Some of you from southern part of Nigeria, you just want to probably just go to school, get a job, or start a business, start a family, and do your owambe, your faji, your this and that, and then die. And I believe that is primarily, should be the primary, probably, everyone's desire to kind of find your own happiness in a system that works for everyone. But you realize that in that same system, there are people who have made it their own life goal to raise people of different perspective, of different kind of like Nigeria. And they are ready to die for that Nigeria that they think you should have. You see that contradictory view, right? Is what Nigeria is. So Gumi, you will look at him and say, why is Gumi not arrested? Why have they not arrested this man? Why are they not questioning him? And then you realize that you are speaking from the lens of your own Nigeria. Because to you, this is like ridiculous. This is ludicrous. That's another word for it. Ludicrous. Ludicrous. Even the way the words sound, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like unbelievable. Then you are wondering, why is the government not doing something? Then you see other people who are like, no, he's saying the truth. You need to see it from his own side. It's coming from a region where there are millions of out-of-school children, and these children are called al-majuri, and there are people who are taking advantage of them, radicalizing them. And so you can't, and you'll be like, okay, like, I don't understand. Is the government not practicing what is called the Operation Safe Corridor, which gives any repentant, violent person or group, terrorists to be precise, right, that decided to leave violence and to pursue peace, like, so they they won't even face any form of, judicial kind of prosecution or anything. They are forgiven. Isn't that the window for those people you are referring to? And the ones who have chosen not to pursue that route of peace, why are you talking for them? Why are you speaking up for them? And that gives you, like, it makes your mind so troubled. Because to some of you, it's going to be like, if they have arrested this Gumi, maybe there will be no more. No, there are thousands of Gumi. Gumi is just prominent. There are thousands of them with the same mindset, some of them so skilled than that of Gumi. And they are all existing from a place, a system that has been sustained for decades, tolerated for decades. This region where decisions, when it comes to policy formulation, law making, and what have you, even law implementation, right? They have to consider them first in this union. So people who come from that background, and you that comes from the probity background, the background that you have to actually be up to standard, you have to meet some certain stuff, you have to compete, all that stuff. It's a different world. Rufaya, Kaduna Littlefinger, 10 years ago, right? Before he became the butcher of Kaduna, remember him? He once said something about federation. If Nigeria only practices true federalism alone, and you know something about a true federalism, it is that every federating unit that exists will be according to the wish of the people. For instance, your current estate creation, just like the way Africa was partitioned by the colonizers, the Fulanis and their friends, the internal and external friends. They were able to put a system after the Civil War, to put a system that decided to divide Nigeria simply by just, by just calling the meeting of a few people who then decided how the map should go. What should we call this place? We'll call it Edo. What about this one here? Keep going. We'll call it Delta. Okay, what about this one next to it? Okay, you know what? Keep going. They didn't care if the line they are drawing have people, right, divided because of this their state creation. Then you get to see some people who become minority here, all on purpose. No referendum. People were never asked, what would you like your state to be called? Would you like to merge with this, and that? None of that happened. They were mere, including the constitution of the country, written by selected people, and then foisted on the country. And just like that, everybody just went like, okay, yeah, we could probably maneuver, yeah? But 10 years ago, El Rufaya, maybe using Takia, was talking about true federalism. He was there for 8 years as governor, and his political party actually was still very much in power, by the way. But this was like 10, 11 years ago.
A federation that has no federalism. Okay? When you have a country like Nigeria with over 500 different ethnic groups, the only system of government that can work is a federation that allows each community or each grouping to develop at its own pace and to design a system of administration that is unique to that community. One size fits all does not work in a country like Nigeria that is so diverse. We were a federation until the military coup of 1966. Since then, we have tended towards centralization. And that has still not left us. Okay? The federal government is too powerful. The states are too weak. And the local governments are almost non-existent because they have been destroyed by the state governments. Now, for us to try to get back on track, we have to try to be a true federation. And that has some serious implications on the entitlement culture, on the way we do things, and on our politics. Now, I have told you the problems. I will now quickly try to propose some solutions, which is what I think is a medium-term roadmap for realizing the Nigeria of our dreams. And I hope that will happen in my lifetime. That means in the next 20 years, because we don't live long in my family. Now, how are nations built? Let me, as we celebrate Nigeria's 100 years, remind you of three realities about nation building. The first, that most nations are artificial. Okay, so those that are saying that the amalgamation of Nigeria was some white people did it, are talking crap. Most countries were artificially created. There are very few countries. Even United Kingdom is an artificial creation. Scotland, Wales, England, they have histories of killing and fighting each other. Okay? So our amalgamation by whoever, by whatever, in my view, in my opinion, is an act of God. God meant us to be together. If you look at the population density of the African continent, you will know that Nigeria is God's creation. It was not Lugat's creation. In one little corner of Africa, God decided to put all these energetic people and put so much of the continent's resources. Nigeria has every mineral. Obi will tell you, she was mining minister. The federation.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that. Sorry, oh. May God not allow them, make them kill you. 70 years old man. I am mumu na too much. You be mumu. You think say they wise?
Yeah. He later became governor and also defended the fakest of the fakest regime of Bokwari while they pillaged Nigeria. And now they have a Milokon, Tifnubu in charge. He's been fenced. He is now in the opposition. But he's not wrong, right? So it's not completely wrong. Not like it's not wrong, okay? Completely wrong. No, it's not. Where he is very much right is that, one, yeah, no country, maybe few countries were like intentionally created. You get what I mean? History have that, like countries are mostly artificially created until they become whatever they have become. Like, that's partially true. But in the case of Nigeria, where he is also right, is that if there was a true federalism, okay, and true federalism means people want it. People want to be part of this arrangement. And there are so many things to consider. If Nigeria is practicing true federalism, there will be nowhere in this world that any central government would dare stay behind murderous Fulani terrorists by trying to enact laws that will steal people's lands and give it to these supposed non-Nigerians and protect them. There's no federal government that would dare do that. It's not possible. Do you get what I mean? There is nowhere that any Fulani armed terrorist will be seen beyond the border of wherever is their own region in Nigeria. Trespassing means you are now venturing into the territory that is completely different from yours, and you are not protected if you bring in violence. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah, true federalism could guarantee that. But saying that, the amalgamation and whatever this that is put together and the rest of that is an act of God. No, it is not. Take God out of it, please. He's right. Where he also said, you see, if Nigeria is to work, that means we have to remove the entitlement mentality. What is that entitlement of Nigeria? In Nigeria, this is not even like entitlement that is meant for everyone. No. The entitlement mentality is the fact that 80 to 90% of the owners of the supposed oil blocks in Nigeria, those who have the highest stake there, they are from northern part of Nigeria. While those who are actually the owners of the crude oil that Nigeria depends on so much for decades, right, have no real stake there. Or probably patri kind of like a stake. That is the entitlement. An entitlement that has made so many of, especially northern Nigeria, to become poorer, despite the fact that, they have benefited so immensely from Nigeria's benevolence or Nigeria's generosity when it comes to beneficiaries from every region of that country. Yeah, talking about those who privatize Nigeria's resources. They have. And yet, they can't let Nigeria go. If you bring any idea that says everybody should handle their own affairs, develop at their own pace, establish their own laws, guidelines, or kind of like a government they want, in that order, sure you get, they will say, oh, it's going to affect the entitlements of some people. And then they will fight it. So that's why we are where we are right now. That is why you and I have to be worried about the strength of these terrorists having field day in Nigeria, and the Nigerian government looking so helpless, and you and I remain vulnerable, like living for the day, being careful, avoiding the roads. You know what I mean? Being so limited in because of fear, because the government have become so overwhelmed. One Nigeria. But where everybody is allowed to arrange and probably like govern themselves in the real true sense of it, and remove this your one Nigeria constitution that makes one man so powerful, and then make the other federating units subordinate. That's why you have governors today who are ready to kiss the ring, bend the knees, to the president, because he is the only one who can do and undo. That is because of the fake constitution. It doesn't matter who is there. Anyone, could wield that power is there. There's no country that moves forward in that sense, right? But El Rufai is probably not a very good kind of like a role model to give that message. He is an hypocrite. Okay. So over the weekend, right, they have the 150th, maybe so close to it because I'm calculating the first Eyo festival that happened in Lagos. The record or history said this was 1954 when the Eleku of that era died during his burial. That was the first time they had Eyo. But this weekend, they had like another one, like it's become an annual stuff, right? So in case if you miss any of that, I know some of you won't really miss it. If you have not seen a lot on TikTok, you probably have seen on Facebook, Twitter, even YouTube and all that, right? And if you have missed any, or you would like a collection, I have collection in case if you miss something. So I have the collection of all that happened. in this past Eyo festival in Lagos. I just want to add it to the diary. Enjoy, right?
I don't do it.
So I bet that should make your night. In case if you miss not being there, you see the beauty, you've seen the whole partying and then few skirmishes, including that last guy. He had a gun. Yeah, he had a gun, and it was like that. And people with no guns, they ran after him and they collected the gun. The energy. Should you understand? Like, if you know the number of able-bodied youth that could be put to real productive use if these criminal politicians actually have real plans, Nigeria would probably like be one of the richest countries because it's got this able-bodied, young population that if you have their energy channeled and they are rewarded accordingly, or more, Nigeria could be like, and that is why any small thing they have all this energy for fight. What's the color? She's testosterone. What's the color? That thing that is inside us as men. That's always kind of like, maybe not always, once in a while, you just get this energy that you've never actually felt before. The buzz that makes you want to like maybe fight. I don't know, like, because what else could be probably responsible for all of that? Alcohol and all that, right? Maybe. So after all of that, the successful 2025 Eyo Festival, Kolu left Nigeria on his way to Europe. They didn't tell us where, but of course it's going to be France. And then it's going to end in Abu Dhabi. Where is that? UAE, Abi?
Thank you, sir. All the best, sir.
They are also the guys that will welcome him when he gets to France. Go and see the picture and the video, right? So they are going to welcome him when he gets there. And they're also probably going to travel with him to UAE, Abu Dhabi, and then back to Nigeria. Then remember that Tiflu wanted to go abroad when Donald Trump tweeted that, gun are blazing, coming with gun are blazing, swift and sweet. Remember? And then suddenly Kolu had to send Shitty Man to go to those is supposed engagement. And he's not left Nigeria since September or where? The last time Tiflu left Nigeria was like in September or August or something. He's been in Nigeria all this while. So that is him going away, right? For a week or two. Kolu. Me, I will not tell you my...
I don't want to sit here and reveal all my strategy. I am the first speaker among the three of us running. So they will spy on me. So you will have a limited answer here today. Another day you can bring me back. But that's part of what I do.
Kolu. Anyway, I hope part of his strategy, maybe this issue of a tax or taxes, new taxes in January, is a well-planned strategy because Wahala looms. That's how I'm going to put it. There is trouble. Yesterday, the Rattel gang of a VDM, Very Dark Man, they had their get-together end of the year party kind of in Abuja yesterday. Among all other things said there, one thing kind of like stands out, and that is his statement on this new tax. To him, tax is good, but if you have to tax us, then you must give us security. Well, that made it to the social media, of course.
We are talking about tax. The tax is good, it's not a bad idea. But before the tax, what have you been doing to make the country great? Ask them! What have you been doing? I'm not trying to be political right now, but the government should consider the people. If you want tax, give us security. At least just give us security. We will be okay. You can take the tax, but make sure our women in the bushes are not killed, our farmers are not killed, our sisters in the bushes are not killed, our brothers are not kidnapped along Kogi Road or Edo State Road. Please just make sure everybody is safe. That's all. You can take the tax, nobody cares, but give us security. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, take your tax, but make sure people don't die. Because when I like it or not, don't take the tax. Anyways, we can now enjoy the party. Let's go and eat the meat. Thank you very much.
So it is the number. It's got the reach, it's got the spread. And I think that's how they kind of like held the same in some other major cities in Nigeria yesterday. So 2026 is almost, is upon us. And hopefully when they take your taxes this time, because they're also going to tax me too. So when they take my money, they won't be investing them on these convoys for politicians that they always do every year, like using them to buy new cars, go abroad. Yeah. I don't think that's going to change, right? This was the chief of army staff spotted somewhere yesterday. Just see the quality of the cars in his convoy for a country that is the poverty capital of the world. I don't think you feel more comfortable again from next year if your money would have to go into all of this. Chief of army staff. Some will tell you, but that's not much. That's not much. Like, then you see a governor, or you see a commissioner, you see a minister. Have you seen with the weakest convoy before? I'll leave it at Maiyegun today. Maiyegun is live. And thank you so much to you, dear Templars, as you are taking your seat. Let's get started. In the recent times, right, people have been mostly confused of what will be the Peter Obi's move for 2027. Is he going to join their coalition? I haven't shown interest in that coalition. Publicly spoke about it and, pledged that he was going to be part of it. But there were other kind of like gray areas, which is believed have not really been settled, believed, right? And at a point, a lot believed maybe he's practically just going to stay in his Labour Party. Even though he came third in their last charade, he is still believed to be a real political threat. Enough that if you can see those who were declared winner and their obsession with him and is obedient, some are even saying that he cannot repeat what happened in 2023 anymore. In all of this, right, Peter Obi himself remained very much like, kept his card to his chest, right? So in the last few days, it is now kind of like confirmed that he will be going to ADC. I don't know what arrangement is there in, but he is said to have prepared himself to actually really join them and fight for the party ticket, so to say, for 2027. So he had a one-on-one with his supposed, supporters on Twitter or X yesterday, where it was like they put it to him, and he was asked if he was offered or he was given the vice presidential slot to someone so that they could team together and get rid of a Kolu in 2027. Well, his response probably now have sort of like made it to their headlines in Nigeria. He's categorically said he didn't travel all over the world, visiting countries to learn how they manage to govern or how, to govern, right? He didn't do all of that, only to end up as somebody's substitute or somebody's vice. And that is where we are going to start from this evening. The former world champion, Anthony Joshua, was also involved in a ghastly motor accident in Nigeria, some hours ago, right? That two people actually lost their lives. So we're going to touch on that. And then we're going to delve straight into Wike versus Makinde, PDP, APC, and the rest of that, right? This evening. So thank you so much for joining me. Let's kind of like start with this. Obi.
I asked you a question. Do you know me in 2018 or 19?
I have heard about you, but not to the extent that I do now, sir.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So I'm flying to all over the world to learn how they govern in order to be vice. You know, when people go this thing, I'm not to God. I'm going all over the world. I said Ibrahim followed me with Dr. Mo to Indonesia, and I spent 1 week or 10 days even going outside Jakarta to go and see the president. Do you visit president to learn how to be vice? My brother, good night. Let us not, I said, I'm not to God. I might not even be alive in 2027. Are you aware? The best, the runner, the best, one of the best candidates in Brazil died in a chopper. He died in a copter flying around. I'm happy to God that I'm alive. If I tell you the things that I counter, you will not believe it. Every single day. Do you know how many times I want to travel out of this country and I'm not allowed to travel? So please, let us go without the same Nigerian easiness. Nigerians don't want to work. They just assume P2B is contesting for the office of the president. I am not God. God knows tomorrow. God knows tomorrow. And I'm doing so in the most decent manner. Tomorrow, I am most qualified. And I'll tell anybody I will change this country. Because I've seen the experience. I've studied it. I've followed it. And you will see it in days to come. That's how I work. I have the capacity, have the competence, the compassion, and
no, that's not enough. So you see, this is one of the reasons why some, right, believe that Peter Obi doesn't have what it takes to face the hegemony like that of Tinubu. He doesn't have it. Sometimes when you listen to him very well, right, especially when it comes to making that personal decision, like act like a leader to say, yeah, let's do it. You realize that sometimes it's mostly just him crying for help. For instance, what they are doing to me. Do you know what they are doing to me behind the scene? There are people who have imagined all of that. It's practically trying to let you know that they could kill me. So I don't know what will happen tomorrow if I tell you what I am going through in the hands of this government. Do you know there are times I wanted to travel out of this country that they stopped me? These are very sort of like, serious allegations. Do you get what I mean? So it's like the person who is to help, or one of the people to help face this APC and dislodge them from power, they are suffering behind the scene intimidation. The kind of intimidation that for his own safety, he can't even tell you. So somebody like me would never actually really believe that they have what it takes to save that country. His way is different. Like some of his supporters will say that, he's a very, he's not a desperate person and all that stuff. But in reality, right, when you are dealing with this kind of, group of political, criminals like this, you have to be brutal enough. So he's not that sure, if he's going to actually be president. But however, his own goal, as he said, it is that, I am running for the office of the president. I have what it takes But it's just that what it takes to fix Nigeria, that's what he said he has, right? Well, does he have what it takes to dislodge a call? That's a different convo, right? Yep. Now we're going to stay a bit on politics, okay? Before we go to that of the incident that happened in Shagamu this morning, all right? To Anthony Joshua. A few days ago, the Solo Makinde Ibadan, that is Sheyi Makinde, granted his own sort of like a press, you know, what do you call that thing again? Like a, you know, press get together or something, where he invited journalists from different media houses to sit with him and ask him questions. So they were asking him questions about their PDP Wahala. And he categorically named Wirewike as a man that is doing the actual job for Tinubu inside this PDP. He said a lot, okay, including the promise made by Wirewike to Tinubu that he will hold PDP down till after 2027, meaning PDP will become so useless that they may not even have presidential candidates. Meanwhile, Sheyi himself has a presidential ambition, as you know, it's been rumored, so to say. So Wirewike has now responded. And according to him, he said a lot, as usual, right? And there's also a Faule part too, who is also on the side of Wirewike, bashing Makinde. But let us start with Wirewike.
You're sounding like you want unity and collaboration between leadership, but Sheyi Makinde is accusing you of doing the opposite. So if we get into his media chat that happened that time, we mentioned Ri by name and said in a meeting with the president that we were present and the president's chief of staff was present, that you said to the president that I will hold PVP for you. And then he said that we went with you to the veranda or the balcony and said, this is not what we planned, this is not what we agreed to. And then he said that if you're free to support the president if you want to, but he is paying not to. Now, is that factual? Because he said other people were there.
That's the blatant lie. And that's why, you see, Sheyi Makinde has never called me Wiki. Never. By the first time I say Wiki. They've never called me Wiki one day. It's unfortunate. First of all, you ask yourself, what was that meeting? What was the purpose of that meeting? That would have led me to say, Mr. President, I hold PDP for you. But all the Sheyi Makinde not calling up all this while to tell the party, see what Wike is doing. I was in a meeting. I saw what Wike said. It is not correct. And let me prove the record straight. There's no such meeting. Rather, my humble self, the former governor of then we said Atom, the former governor of Abia said Ibazu, the former governor of Bonu said Uruguay, and Sheyi Makinde, we went to see president.
That's the G5.
Yes, we went to see president to discuss, of course, elections were over, to discuss about certain things. When we were there, the chief of staff, of course, he should know that the chief of staff is Referendum and the president. I was one who said, look, chief of staff, I'll come as sure as they can, remind the president of what we have discussed. There was nothing like a DT. We booked to go and see Mr. President. So you couldn't, it is completely out of place for anybody to say that in back meeting, I said to Mr. President, I will hold PVP that for you. That's very unfair. Very, very unfair. Totally unfair. I mean, see, I told everybody, frustration, if you can see, if you watch it on that media chat, you can see frustration. And this is a young man who have advised severely. Many things is not like being a contractor, you share. What it is not like being a contractor with the they can't be full rules. They can't be full. When you say but they don't come into politics. When you come into politics. And see, that's very wrong in having ambition. But the ambition is like peace. Tailored according to the rules.
Ambition, what is the ambition? Running for
president or what. Nobody even have the balls to tell them I want to run for president. Nobody said that to anybody. But we know we are not kids. You see, there are things we can do. I think that people don't know. People do. They watch you. They follow what is going on. How will people be enter this crisis? It's the same Makende's ambition. How will enter the crisis? He went and arranged with some people to don't say that it's ousted. He allowed people to go to state high court in Enugu. When we know that the state has no jurisdiction over that matter, they got the judgment, no problem. Somebody went to a court of appeal. On appeal, somebody won. We all agree that the party can go on. Look, convention will be coming. Why not allow this to go on? We have only 1 year. So what are you pushing? In the convention, you will make sure those who don't want them to come back will not come back. He refused. I want the Supreme Court. When he went to Supreme Court, he left. He still believes that both Supreme Court said the party has no jurisdiction. Come on, what are you doing? Who will appeal to Supreme Court? You and your colleague, you and your co-host, appeal to Supreme Court, and he lost. Until when they went to INEC told them, listen, as far as we are concerned, in our system, the secretary of the PDP is Senator Sabe Ayam. Right? Now, Saraki will be out this weakness. We have met the Saraki's guest house so Friday. Filtering the governor of Adamawa was there. Bala, the chairman of the government was there.
Anyway, so to where a wiki, yeah, whatever is going on in PDP is mostly orchestrated by Seyi Makinde because of his ambition. But what is Wiki's ambition in all of that? One thing about him is that he won't even answer the question directly. Okay, he said that it's not true. That is, he promised Tinubu. But then what happened at that meeting? So he went on to, mumble jumble everything together, right? Now he's going to tell us about the political journey of Makinde, how Makinde, who contested to be a senator at the time, he lost, and he tried to be a governor, he lost until they brought him to him, and then he now gave him platform. He with a wiki, the benefactor.
Sovereignty. Filtering the governor of Adamawa was there. Bala, the chairman of the government was there. But he said, well, yeah, but nobody have agreed to do that. Makinde will not go and be a different thing. That's not it. And this is why we are here today. Because, okay, look at even the convention, for example. The board of trustees set up a committee to solve what do we do. Committee headed by Wakil Adamawa, former governor of Osun State, former deputy governor and chief executive to Jonathan. Odedeme. So you go Zandam Kure and two other people came up with a report. Look, let's not go for this convention. Let's set up caretaker committee. The same thing, of course, you know that first he has done him. You may have done him, but just better. About the lot of them has done the back advantage that I did. I don't know what you do have a senator with a jail bribe of 15 million naira. Everybody is aware of that. He went, they now denied and said, oh, the committee was compromised. The two judgments of the Federal High Court, Justice Obatasho and Justice Luffy, substantial judgment, not others. Seyi Makinde never says so. Frustration can make you do a lot of things that cause damage. He went to Ibadan State High Court to obtain an ex parte order. State High Court to obtain an ex parte order. So going to still go on with that confession. How could an ex parte order is a right substantive judgment of two courts? Of course, he had done his so-called convention, and that was not there. I refused to recognize them. Then
In that same matter, INEC filed a premier objection to say that, look, court, you have made a decision over us. Why would you move the party to this? And the court agreed and struck an INEC name. So there was nothing binding on INEC. The same person then had gone to the Federal High Court in Ibadan to recognize them. They recognize them. Recognize the convention we have done. The convention at Federal High Court, I said, you cannot go ahead and do. You have either disobeying the court judgment. You got signed at the Federal High Court now in Ibadan. Now look, recognize us as the legitimate principal officers. That has not been settled. We have gone again to Federal High Court in Abuja against police until the Secretary so can use. Why not wait for the Federal High Court to say, okay, he are the legitimate principal officer. So the point I'm making is not good. Look at where PDP is today. Look at the crisis. Something that would have been even solved. Listen to the voice of elders. Then go ahead. Then form caretaker committee. Today, PDP has no candidate in Ekiti State. Today, PDP has no candidate in Osun State. Now, when you saw the one-party state, who is making us have a one-party state? If you are listening to people and allow due process to take place, with the issue of one-party state arise, we are not going to create one-party state. I really accusing the government of trying to have a one-party state. Just listen to what people have said and feeling due process. By now, we wouldn't have been talking about one-party state. Now, haven't taken wrong steps that is destroying your party. We're not accusing the other party of wanting to have one-party state. That's our sovereignty.
Now, for your information, just for your own understanding, Makinde knows Werewike very well. Werewike is not useful simply because he's got so much money and he's playing his politics that way. No. Werewike is among the early politicians after 1999 that were lawyers or probably discovered that they could actually put their own feet inside the judiciary of Nigeria, bury their relatives, wives, children, and all that, bury them inside the judiciary. Because in the future, right, they will be very much useful. Werewike never practiced law, like practice it properly. No, he came out of law school, and then he became the local government chairman, Obiakpo local government. And from there, he became the chief of staff to Amechi. But there is something he maintained. He ensured, for God knows how he managed to do it, to become a life bencher. A life bencher is just like somebody who is at that league of lawyers, including judges inside Nigeria, sort of arranging, right? So that gives him so much access to understand how to weaponize that same judiciary. He's been doing it at a very much like low scales at the state level for a very long time. He takes care of the judges, build them houses, pay them good money, and even buy them cars when he was governor. So he's built that relationship for so long that even his own wife became a judge. Now she's an high court judge as we speak. He himself is a life bencher. So when it now comes to using the judiciary to scuttle a political party or any whatever inside his own political party, so to say, Werewike cannot be defeated. Do you understand what that means? If you file any case against anything that Werewike is interested in any court in Nigeria, before they give you the date for hearing of your case, they will notify him. That's how much I believe it works. Somebody like that is not just about the physical thing that Ifnumbu is probably like exploiting as well. So it's like the cat claws, right? That's nails, right? That you can use to pick hot charcoal from fire. You know, willing to. And sometimes you'll be like, he can't probably like get, no, I don't think he will ever get, prosecuted for all he's done as well, ever, because those who are going to make that happen includes the judiciary in this sense, but except if they strip him of all of that and decide to disgrace him publicly. So it's more than just gathering people singing for him. You see, the judiciary of Nigeria and with a wiki, it's like 5 and 6. And what that means is that you can't win any case against him. You can't. It's not going to happen. Right? He's in PDP. He's working for Tinubu of APC. Then he's doing everything within his own party to destroy any means of peace or whatever, progress, or even prepare themselves as an opposition party against Tinubu. And back in Rivers State, same thing is still happening. His own godson, Fulbara, that recently joined APC, is under fire right now. And Wike is in Rivers. That's media chat. That's what they call it. You see? APC, back in the days when you even used to have dictators and then you had democracy. When you have the media seated in an open, or should I say in a very big room, right, having this kind of media chat, it is usually with the president of the country who wants to take questions from different media houses about how he's running the country. Then Bukwari came. Bukwari got sick. They flew him to London. He returned back to Nigeria. And from that moment on, Bukwari became a mannequin that people just goes into the asshole rock to go and see and come and tell Nigerians how Bukwari is doing fine. He's doing great. He's this, is that for the next 6 years. And that's, unfortunately anyway. Now, with a Wike, who is doing everything to hold his party down, then denying it, is now fighting, or I won't say he's now fighting, I'll say the fight between himself and Fulbara continues, right? Because when Fulbara said he joined APC and he is now the one of APC in Rivers State. So Fulbara said, kind of like sang a song that if you did Fulbara, they tell you something, that if you they follow Tinubu, no follow corner. Fulbara, they tell you something. You remember that song? I'll look for it. Here is with the weakest response. A man that is just speaking about his own party and the decimation of his own party is also saying this about the party of the man he is working for, the party in power.
I don't know who is supporting to follow Konokara.
Well, he was referring to him. Wouldn't that be a direct reference?
How could that be when the whole Nigeria knows that I'm one supporter of Tinubu? What is Konokara? When I have stated openly that is what I will do. When the whole governors of PDP are accused me that I'm working for Tinubu, so how could that be Konokara?
Yeah, but what happened to that?
If I'm doing Konokara, the assembly people will not go. The council chairman won't go. If they won't go. And let me tell you, I've always stated this, that why most people don't trust politicians is this issue that people don't keep to their words, and which is very wrong. And I don't want to be that politician. I want to be a politician that I have said something and go and sleep. This is what I've said. You don't need to think about it. Everybody knows that. Well, once I said this is what I would do, I would do it.
From all I can hear, clearly all is not well.
No, it's not well.
All is not well.
It's not about all is not well. All can never be well.
Why can't all be well?
No, in politics all can never be well.
But most things should be well in politics.
But that's why nobody's fighting.
Because it was alleged that there was a meeting, I think, that you broke out in Abuja. The governor was present and all of that.
Look,
and there were certain things that we had to follow.
I have always said that what I don't like people who economically would tell the truth. And I don't like that. The governor cannot say that I have not brokered a meeting between Speaker and the leadership of the House. The governor cannot say that I have not brokered a meeting between the elders, which he was present in Chief Alabama's house. You see, that's why, I don't like politicians who are economical with truth. There are things that shouldn't come to the national television to begin to talk about. It means that you are not matured. But that's why I said here, can Sheyi in his conscience say this and this and that? Can the governor in his conscience say, no, there was no meeting that was held between himself, Speaker, and the leader?
Yeah, that was.
It's all about agreement. Agreement is agreement, you. Here you go. It's about agreement. From the Genesis, right? Fubara and his own supporters made us believe that the disagreement between himself and Wike was because of the sharing formula of the state's resources, the state allocation or revenue. Something Wike denied, of course, he denied it. He in fact said if that was true, that means Fubara has been paying it. Then according to him, that means he stopped paying it. Fubara should release the evidence of this money that Wike was collecting from him, 30%. If you remember that time, so people thought Fubara would be Wike's nemesis or karma, because how Fubara himself became governor, right, through the force of arm of this same Wike, that maybe he was going to be his karma. Unfortunately, Fubara didn't give us anything, just words of mouth, until he threw all of his own supporters under the bus. He still got supporters now, by the way. So he threw them under the bus and he told them that he didn't send them to be saying all the things or abusing Wike. So what was that agreement? 30% of the state allocation. Even in the Bible, they say even God self only said they should give 10%. Sure you get. So how come person will be saying a human being could they demand for 30%? And at the time, we analyzed what could be the possible issue. To maintain the political structure that with Wike, according to him, then he said he brought it a structure that brought Fubara to power. This structure, this political structure scattered all over the local government areas and everywhere. And to manage them and maintain them, Fubara knows what to do. But he didn't do it because he started mixing up with some of Wike's enemies, political enemies. And that was the bone of contention. Tifnubu intervened, state of emergency was declared, then he was called off, Fubara returned, and they had few meetings that felt like, okay, maybe they are sorting themselves out. Now, just a few weeks after the end of the state of emergency, the speaker raised the alarm of Fubara spending money without appropriation and all that stuff. So this is the first time that Wike now seems to actually be going again after all this while, going all gun blazing to Fubara. I never in my own imagination ever believed that if you dey follow Fubara, no follow corner. Fubara, they tell you something, then okay, Fubara, they tell you something. Fubara, they tell you something. If you dey follow Tinubu, no follow corner. I never thought Wike will ascribe that to himself. That what did he mean by saying if you dey follow Tinubu, no follow corner? I never imagined that, right? And I bet you didn't too.
If you dey follow Fubara, no dey go corner. Fubara, they tell you something. If you dey follow Asuwati, no dey waka corner. Fubara, they tell you something. See Fubara tell you something. See Fubara tell you something. If you dey follow Fubara, say follow corner. Say Fubara tell you something. Say Fubara tell you something. Say Fubara tell you something. If you dey follow Asuwati, no follow corner. Say Fubara tell you something. If you dey support Tinubu, no follow corner. You dey hear wetin I dey talk? We dey support Tinubu. We no dey follow corner. That is the second stanza. I'm gonna take that one. Tell me something. If you dey support Tinubu, don't follow corner. Tell me something. Everybody sing am. Tell me something. Tell me something. If you dey support Tinubu, don't follow corner. Tell me something. Thank you.
So back to Wike Makinde again, because there is also the part of Fauleche. Now Fauleche used to be, I don't know, maybe big brother to Makinde. They used to be friends, but right now they're on the other side. So to Fauleche, Sheyi Makinde is being clever by half. He is trying to take over the party, kick out some people, and that is not going to work. He's working against Tinubu, which that in itself is an abomination, even though it might be his right, but nevertheless, he has no right to accuse them of anti-party, because it was the same Sheyi Makinde, Wike, Ekpeazu, Autumn, Egwuanyi that formed the G5, have been a G-string governors that stood behind Tinubu against their own political party. When did it change? But this was Fauleche's questions. Listen.
So you can see where the problems are coming.
So you're clearly backing or defending.
I'm not defending. I just made an analogy.
Perceived anti-party activities.
There's no anti-party activities. There is no anti-party activities, with all due respect. Serving in a government in Israel, Netanyahu could not form government. Most countries of the world, the presidents couldn't form government. In South Africa, they couldn't form government. They had to go into alliance with opposition.
But how does that arrangement help PDP's credibility as an opposition party?
PDP has no credibility right now.
Are you saying this?
I am sending it on the live television. Are you saying this
because he's been expelled?
No, expelled. We expelled Makinde and Co. Those who went to Ibadan Convention, Governor Pintiri said they were not part of the expulsion. Governor Plateau came out and said we were not part of the expulsion, that it was smuggled into the program. It's there in the national news. They came out and said it.
Some say they did that because they were scared of. They said they did that because they were scared of Nyesom Wike.
Yes, they should be scared of somebody. In politics, it's either you are scared of you or you are scared of them. My name is Fauleche. People are scared of me, and I'm scared of some people too. I've come here to tell you that Wike is a crazy guy. Be his friend, good for you. Be his enemy, he will consume you. The journey of life is about interest. It's not about your father's family. So don't go there. This newscasting that you are doing is acceptable,
if this is acceptable, Governor Fauleche, where do you draw the line on anti-party behavior? And I'm asking because, also related to this, when there is conflict between, for instance,
what
APC,
did Governor Makinde do?
Can you hold on, sir? When there is a conflict between APC federal interest and say PDP opposition goals,
yes,
whose side do you expect Nyesom Wike to choose?
Now I ask you again, when Governor Makinde, because we should not forget the focus. The focus is the G5. Your argument and your storyline is talking about Makinde and Wike.
Yes.
Is Makinde now born again? I should ask you that question. Is he born again? He said he regretted supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. His regret will become a reality at him in 2027. Let me say that. And I will come back on this platform to say Makinde's candidate did not make it. Watch what I've ever said in this country. I will come back here to tell you Makinde's candidate did not make it. Let me tell you, in 2027, Makinde was the one in front speaking at Atiku, PDP. If they don't do this, when did Makinde become born again? What went wrong? Because they didn't pick his candidate as minister? So I should fight Ashwaju because he did not put my son in position?
He said this is about the survival of democracy.
What is democracy? What was democracy?
Nation, so we don't end up one party state.
What is the democracy we are talking about? Tell me where Ashwaju has invited the PDP governor that you have a record of. Just one meeting where we have caught Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu persuading a PDP government. Okay, if he's persuading them and they are coming, I came here and said I don't want to support him. I don't want to be APC. I don't want to be APC. I am entitled. They wanted me to meet Buhari, the then Attorney General, the then Director of GSSS. I said, I'm not going. We all have a will. Nobody drags you to another party if you don't want to go there. The G5 and all of us, and those that work for Peter Obi physically on the ground, what did we do at that time? If you say it's anti-party, what did we do? No, that's a simple question. Governor Makinde and the G5 were celebrated. So
he's not wrong. What makes it right in 2023 and then it is wrong in 2027? Makinde and all these guys did all they could to sabotage their party, even if Atiku won't even win or whatever, right? But these ones did all they could to sabotage their own political party for Tinubu. So what was Makinde expecting? So that, okay, once they did that, then when he is now ready to want to run and become president, right? Now all of them will now come together to chase Tinubu away. Like, is that what he was expecting? Do you get me now? So, but yeah, Nigerian political parties have no anything ideological. So it is just anywhere belle face. It is about their interests, like he said. So if their interests align with this right now, they will do open anti-party. They will sabotage their own candidates and then wait for the reward from the other political parties they worked for. And that is the cycle that goes on and on. So in 2020, in 2031, this foulish, they may be the one at the forefront then to say PDP must be strong. PDP must be, we must make sure PDP this and that. But for now, their interest is that if PDP want to die, let it die. Because some people started it. They are just finishing it, you know. He also accused Makinde of shortchanging the people of your state. You remember that dynamite also that were packed in a residential area that exploded last year, early last year, 2024. Now, it was said that Kolu's office released 50 billion naira, you know, as a form of support fund for those who lost their properties, including those who were injured, and then probably the infrastructure in the area to also get kind of updated. Now, you know something? It is said that 50 billion naira was released in August. Makinde feared, or there's a newspaper headline that says Makinde, your state government compensated the victims of the blast with 4.5 billion naira. That's a lot of money. Do you get what I mean now? 4.5 billion naira. From 50 billion naira. So a lot of people are just like playing with the number. Although when government comes, they'll begin to tell you why the 4.5 billion is just this. The other money is meant for these other things. But yeah, he added it to his own shot.
Governor Makinde got 50 billion. You got a 50 billion naira in support of the explosion in Ibadan. He never said that on it. So the president can say the explosion is not worth more than 10 billion.
Okay, all right.
The president went ahead and gave you the window to be able to contain those challenges and give you 50 billion. That 50 billion did not come into your coffers of your state. It came with you coming to interface with the president, because you came and said you met with the president. You only said a part where you said the president told you that go and organize APC for me, and I said I cannot organize. But you did not tell Nigerians what the president did for you and did for the good people of your state. Let him say I'm lying.
Can you verify that?
I'm not here to come and tell stories I can't support.
Because, this is live television.
Excuse me. I don't want to come here. Sir. I don't want to come here and be showing federal government documents and transfers to your state. I was once a governor. I must stand very responsible to allow the documents of government to be flying on television. Governor Makinde has destroyed all structures in Southwest. In Osho recently, somebody who did not obtain form of PDP became the candidate. The person that was alleged to kill Bola Ige at that time became the candidate of PDP in Osho. He did not obtain form. When I went to Osho to go and do primary, to go and do Congress, Governor Makinde organized by the Drivers Union, what is this guy's name, to come and attack me. Governor Makinde eventually sent that guy to Agodi prison. He's in Agodi prison now. Governor Makinde is a small boy. Governor Makinde got.
That's a foul share. Talking about auxiliary, and in Makinde's, cunningness or something. Still politics, right? But now let's talk the events, the accident that happened to the former world boxing champion, Anthony Joshua. So the news broke earlier this afternoon of a crash, and there was Anthony Joshua. What happened? Like, he's probably going to have a fight, maybe not anymore. He had a planned fight for another 2 weeks, right? But then more details started popping out that, the vehicle he was traveling in, plus his other friends, about 4 of them in the vehicle, ran into a stationary truck that was so, fatal. 2 people died. 2 of his friends died. He's a trainer, as well as his, strength manager or something is called. So those who actually, these were like, his friends and the personal trainers that died. Now, when we talk about Nigeria happening to us, and I have said this many times, right, that, accidents happen, people die. Even Joshua himself once said that you have no idea what is going to happen next, so live your life, like, you know what I mean? But when you have poor infrastructure, poor infrastructure in place, enough that even if you have money, Anthony Joshua is believed to actually be worth over $150 million. Now, that's a lot of money. He could probably get himself or anything. But when it comes to the poor infrastructure, which affects every Nigerian every day, all class, right? So that is the prayer of Nigeria. May Nigeria not happen to you. May Nigeria not happen to me. Something terrible that happened today. So first, right, there was this, okay, let's start with this, the crash.
Nothing go do you.
Bros, what did they find?
Yeah. So Joshua survived, and I think they said there with minor injuries that couldn't really be ascertained, right? So there is no paramedics. He had to be, put in a truck, one of the security trucks, to take him to the hospital. But fair enough, it was said that the FRSC, the Federal Road Safety Corps, they actually arrived there earlier. I saw them part of the, in some of the videos that have made it to the internet so far. In Nigeria, no happened to us in that sense. So before the crash, there was this video of Joshua and one of his friends who went to Nigeria with him, playing a ping pong. It was like everybody is back home right now having fun. But man,
I feel like we see what you call a monster. That's it.
like everyone else, right? We're back in Nigeria to actually like a cool off, have fun, and then back to work, right? And this was them when they arrived in Nigeria earlier.
Show you the streets of Nigeria. Oluwasina, the first Iranian ever to step foot in Nigeria.
Hey, 2 times this year as well, that's crazy. April, December.
Oh god, you're called Oluwasina now, bro.
Joshua himself, right, back in April, there was a video of him on the bike. It's pretty much like he feels so much at home in Nigeria, and yeah, for every time he's around. This was in April, right? This next week's April.
We're doing the illegal maneuver in Niger.
So that was Joshua in April this year. He survived the crash that just happened, but 2 of his friends didn't. And right now, I believe he's probably going to be on his way out of Nigeria. And we wish him very much a quick recovery, and our condolences to the friends. I mean, to the family of his friends who lost their lives in Nigeria. So I was talking about that with my friends this afternoon, and we were like, in the UK, for example, if you decide to go and check on the data of crashes, road crashes, it's still kind of recorded that, we have more people who have died on road crashes, on the road on the UK road, so to say. So every year they will give you the data of people who had crashes, the cause of crashes, and all of that data will tell you how many people died, how many people got life-threatening injuries and all of that, or permanent this and that, right? I said, if we have something like that in Nigeria, okay, you know, people would die needlessly because of all these terrible roads, poor road markings, and reckless drivings, and the rest of that. That if you have a sort of like all this data that is accessible, like reliable data, maybe people could use that as a means of, you know, advocacy to further pressure the rogues in government to fix the infrastructures, like fix it, implement your own laws and all of that stuff. Or at the same time, use the data to educate the people of how fickle life can be. And losing your life this way and all of that, you get, could be something you can afford. I mean, avoid if you know how many people that dies from this road accidents in Nigeria. Somebody said, even if you are trying to be very perfect, if you're trying to be, you know what I mean, like try to be safe on the road, drive safe and care about the other road users. Nigerian road users are like mental. Sure you get. So at a point, you may start finding yourself dragging the rules with them like you've got extra lives elsewhere without even knowing. You can get dragged into it that much. So make everybody try to be very careful, okay? Especially those of you who are not really living in Nigeria, that some of those you know, road users and their ways could be so strange to you, and one wrong turn could lead to this kind of a fatal end. So again, our condolences to the families as well as the victims as well. Joshua once said,
whatever you're doing in your lives, we're all gonna die one day. So don't get too caught up in the bullshit and the hype. Live your life while you're here, because you never know what's gonna like around. You've got heart attacks, disease, wars. Like life could just hit you like that. So try and enjoy every day. That's what I'm trying to say. Whatever you're doing in your lives, we're all gonna die one day. So don't get too caught up in the bullshit and the hype. Live your life while you're here, because you never know what's gonna like around. You've got heart attacks, disease, wars. Like life could just hit you like that. So try and enjoy every day. That's what I'm trying to say. Whatever you're doing.
Yep. So try to live every day, because you know life can be very short, and anything can happen the next minute. You know, heart attack, diseases, war, and what have you. So try live somehow. Now, the next one here is very brief. I just spotted that before we came on, okay, earlier. The Emir of Hardship, His Royal Highness Kalu, has announced the debt forgiveness to NNPC. Do you know that it was reported, right, that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, right, they have not remitted over 200 trillion naira, considered as over $200 billion missing, not remitted since 2015 by this Senate committee in Nigeria, okay? Now, Tifnumbu announced that he has now forgiven, he's writing off the debt, how much? He said he's writing off the debt of the NNPC, $1.42 billion. And another 5.57 trillion naira is hereby cancelled. I mean, what does that even mean? He said, approver, President Tifnumbu has approved the cancellation of a substantial portion of NNPC Limited outstanding debt owed to the Federation accounts. What does that mean? Effectively, wiping out approximately $1.42 billion in legacy obligation. The decision was detailed in a document by the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, and presented at the November 2025 Federation Account Allocation Committee FAC meeting. So the committee recommendation, the write-off follows recommendations from the stakeholder alignment committee on reconciling the indebtedness between NNPC Limited and the Federation. Like NNPC failed to remit money, and Tifnumbu is writing it off. Do you understand what I'm saying? NNPC sells Nigeria crude oil, collects the proceed from Nigeria crude oil, Nigeria LNG, gas, and what have you, right? They collect the proceed. And the agreement was that once they have the money, they will remit it straight into the Federation account that is domiciled in the Central Bank of Nigeria. So they said for the past 10 years, they have the record that over 200 billion US dollars that was supposed to be remitted to Nigeria was not remitted. There is a Senate committee that made that expose. So now I know this is not up to 200 billion naira now. So why is Steve Noble writing off? Do you get what I mean? Like, why is he writing it off? Some people were supposed to remit the money. They didn't. The accounts show that maybe they even lied that they've remitted it only to show that, no, you didn't remit the money. Somebody is now clearing it out like $1.something billion, $1.4 billion. Country that is still going about bow in hand, begging for a loan. So they said the debt cancellation covers legacy obligation up to 31, blah, blah, production sharing contract, domestic supply, blah, blah, all this nonsense, right? And I'm like, how is that even normal? How is that possible? It is because it is Nigeria, so to say. Now, in Abia State, okay, this is also politics, by the way. The current deputy speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has now reiterated his, is a threat, put it that way, political threat, by the way, against Alex Otti in Abia State. Benjamin Kalu believes that Abians could have it better, that whatever Alex Otti is doing for them is just superficial, like it's just on the face value or whatever, right? With the kind of allocation he is getting. And for him, Benjamin Kalu, he is very popular. He has what it takes. And if there's anything at all or any advice he's got for Alex Otti in Abia State, it will be for Alex to pray that he, Benjamin Kalu, does not show interest in running for the office of the governor of Abia State. And he also added that you may look at him right now and probably laugh or even abuse him on social media. On the day of election, he, Benjamin Kalu, will remind you that there is no polling unit on social media. I'm also like, I am almost quoting word for word. Kalu.
But today, what we are doing, which is what we have started since 23 years ago, is being branded that we are doing it because we want to run for governor. If we decide to run for governor, and what about it? People who are afraid of what we are doing for humanity, I want you to know we started doing this in 2003, and by that time most of you are not in politics. When I started doing what I'm doing today, which is 23 years old, I was not holding any office in government. I was not contesting any position. It is giving back to the people. But today, other governors did not brand what I was doing as a threat. Today is being seen. If Benjamin can say cough, they say it's governorship. If I fart, it is governorship. If I change my clothes and wear something, it's governorship. If I say hello to somebody, it is governorship. If I visit anybody, it is governorship. If I'm building structure for the president, it is governorship. I want to ask you, am I not fit enough to run for governorship? Let me go and tell them. Let them pray that I don't come out. If I come out, we will run it and run it well. I have not declared for governorship. People who have declared for governorship, nobody is attacking them. About 3 of people have declared in the state for governorship, nobody is attacking them. I have not declared, and every day they are paying people on social media. Even some of you who are here videoing me now, you will sent by them to come and video me so that you put it on social media and then you start insulting me. Let me tell you, insult me the most you can. We don't have time to reply to you, but at the right time we will tell you there is no polling unit on social media. At the right time.
first time I was attacked on social media. When I came to run for House of Rep, every social media was filled with attack. And they gave my opponent 70% and gave me 30% survival. At the end of the day, I carried him up and I hit him on the lamp. Wow. Go and tell Maiyegun, pray I don't come out to run for governorship. If I come to run for governorship, it will be a fast and a quick, tough battle. That's all. That is the truth. Go and tell your neighbor I said so. We are still consulting. We are still talking to our party. We are still listening to the leader of our party at the national. And we are waiting for the signal. If the signal come, look at me very well. Am I not handsome enough to be a governor? Am I not educated enough to be a governor? Am I not experienced enough to be a governor? So what are we talking about? Let's stop. You cannot threaten us with what you write on social media. If you like, hire all the social media agents. Let them insult us. When we cough, write it on social media. At the right time, we will prove that APC is here to stay. And like my people have said, Mr. President should know that we in Abia State, we are not interested in negotiating with anybody. If you want to work for Mr. President, join ABC. If you want to work for President, do what? Join ABC. Promising President, I will give you this percentage. Allow me to be where I am. That one is far. It's far. We have what it takes. We have the resources. We have the people to be able to deliver 100 over 100 for Mr. President. Shall we rise and sing this song? On your mandate we shall stand. On your mandate we shall stand. On your mandate, on your mandate, on your mandate we shall stand. We will keep building our party. We will keep strengthening our party. All of you who want to run election in 2027, you should be courageous. You should be bold. The president is supporting you. The president is not playing anti-party. The president will not leave APC and support a non-APC member. Go and tell Maiyegun. Go and tell your community. If you are interested in running for House of Assembly, come. If you want to run for House of Rep, come. If you want to run for Senate, come. If you want to run for governor, come. The only thing you will not run for is president. You are not allowed to run for president. But any other thing, outside the president and vice president, you can do what? Come. You can do what? Come. So let nobody frighten you. We believe in grassroots, and we will keep tilling the grassroots. Program after program, meeting after meeting, we will be tilling the grassroots while inviting those who are sitting on the fence. Let me tell you, I want to use this opportunity again to invite Governor Alex Oti to join our party. I want to use this opportunity again publicly to join him to come to our party. If he comes to our party, we will support him. But if they are in another party and there's probably president they want to work for president, we.
You know the saddest truth. Charlatans like that, who can act like that, and more, okay, are those who ended up being in charge of the country. You see that you that is the gentleman who want to have reasonable debates. So you get you, we won't go they read research on developmental ideas, creative ways of, you know, improving things. You are doing study. Charlatan like that. Not that he's not educated though, but you see that mode, that way is interacting with them is the way they have designed a system they have designed that is never going to suit somebody like you. If somebody like you and me decided that you know what, politics should be logical, politics should be ideological, like politics should be people will look at you and just be like, this one is a motivational speaker. They are not interested in all that data. It is that bad. And that is why people like me would prefer the entire system, okay, to be replaced, to crash, gone, replaced, so that you can then build a standard that some of these guys either they actually have to like rebrand, or they will opt out completely, never to feature in this, political engagement. But I don't think that's ever going to happen. So you would have to like be like them. No matter how exposed you are, how educated you are, this is the politics they understand. The politics of interest, the politics of come to us. We are here. If you are not with us, it doesn't really matter what you are doing, the blah, the blah. And that's what it is. Nigeria politics. Then the people they finally were supposed to govern, who have now become the sort of like the game for terrorists, right? Lately, we have seen the actions against the supposed terrorists, including the airstrike that Donald Trump ordered a couple of days ago. The one generating different kind of comments and controversies and all that, right? But the victims of these kidnappings, their family members, most of them who didn't make it to the news, who didn't make it like to the viral videos and all that, who didn't get the attention of government for their supposed media up and all that, yeah, they are still there, and their own loved ones are very much still in captivity. So one of these group of families are those ones who were the workers. They said they were construction workers. They were kidnapped in Kwara State, and it's been like for weeks as well. Now they believe that the government is practically not even thinking about them or talking about them. So the families, the wives, the children, their loved ones came together in this media sort of like parley to call the attention of not just the Kwara State government, including the government of Nigeria, right? So they applied as the terrorists who kidnapped their family members are demanding for millions in ransom, of course.
Today, 29th December 2025, members of the press, the affected, abducted families, ladies and gentlemen, we stand before you today not as politicians, not as activists, but as broken families, united by fear, pain, and uncertainty. Barely 15 days ago, precisely 15th December 2025, our brothers, our sons, our breadwinners were abducted in broad daylight while carrying out legitimate work at a construction site along Sabaja / Owa-Onire Road in Kwara State. At about 11:40 a.m., armed men suspected to be bandits stormed the site and took away 5 innocent workers, which include Ademola Afolabi, Abdullahi Ladin, Emmanuel Oluwadare, Fatai, Akin, and their driver, Mr. Yusuf. Since that moment, our lives have been suspended between hope and despair. These men were not criminals. They were adventurers. They were professionals and laborers, contributing to the development of the country and Kwara State too. They went to work that morning, believing they would return home safely. Instead, their families have been thrown into anguish and despair. Of course, we acknowledge the effort so far reported by the police, the military, and the local vigilante. We appreciate every step taken. But we must state clearly and urgently, time is of the essence. Time is not on our side. Every passing hour deepens the trauma of the families, especially the wives, the children, elderly parents who depend entirely on these men for survival. Many of these families have no other source of income. Beyond the fear for their lives, now there is now hunger, psychological distress, and total uncertainty. We therefore make the following urgent appeals to the government, especially to our governor, Governor Abdurrahman. Number one, we call on the Kwara State government and relevant security agencies to please intensify rescue efforts and treat this abduction as a top priority emergency until every victim is safely returned home. Two, we urge government to establish direct communication with the affected families, so we are not left to rely on rumors and social media for information about our loved ones. Number three, we appeal for immediate support for the families of the abducted workers, including welfare assistance and counseling, as many households are already in distress. And lastly, we ask for stronger security presence along construction corridors and rural roads to prevent further attacks on innocent workers and residents. Ordinary Nigerians who leave home every day.
There's this saying, yesterday's survivors, they are today's victims. Today's survivors, they are tomorrow's potential victims. We are all victims in this project, Nigeria. We're just taking each day after the other, and you don't know when it's going to be your turn or my turn. I wish you all the best. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone, and the holiday as well. Please like the broadcast if you haven't already, by the way, right? Like the broadcast and share it. Join me another time if you have the time. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dáyàrí Maiyegun nọ́mbà wá. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dáyàrí Maiyegun nọ́mbà wá. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Maiyegun dáyàrí Maiyegun nọ́mbà wá. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun dáyàrí Maiyegun nọ́mbà wá. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun dáyàrí Maiyegun nọ́mbà wá. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun dáyàrí Maiyegun nọ́mbà wá. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun dáyàrí Maiyegun nọ́mbà wá. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun dáyàrí Maiyegun nọ́mbà wá. Maiyegun dáyàrí Politico. Maiyegun dáyàrí Maiyegun nọ́mbà wá. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun dáyàrí Maiyegun nọ́mbà wá. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí Facebook
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí YouTube
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
bí gómìnà kówó jẹ
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
òkúra olóṣèlú
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
ha kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù.